All right, Madison Wolfe, as I live and breathe, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on this film, The Man in the White Van. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, this is a really big deal because uh, going from one genre to a completely different genre, you're telling a story and you're playing the main character to this. For you, what is important to you when it comes to authenticity, without really like you're not re-victimizing because we know how this ends, but what's key for you in putting a character together like this and telling it in a true, authentic timepiece kind of way?
Yeah, I think there's a huge responsibility when you're portraying any real story, but especially a character like this, who w was such a victim. I think that for me, it came with focusing my research and my thoughts before filming on what Annie was going through and subconsciously what was going through her head and looking at her whole emotional journey rather than researching Billy Mansfield Jr., right? So even though I did do that a little bit, it was more of a conversation between me and Warren, our wonderful director, before we even started filming, to really track out her journey and her thoughts and um yeah, just do that even before we started filming so that on the day I could always have that in my back pocket and remind myself and offer up an honest portrayal like as much as possible.
Yeah, so when you play a character like this, when you go from a project, say like the Conjuring series, to this, and you play a character over multiple films, but this film you're playing a character once, is your process any different, or is it the same as far as getting into them, and learning about them, and as you said, telling it in a way that's legitimized, and focusing on all the things that you can focus on?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's different in outright sense. My process kind of differs per character, but it's always along the lines of do the research and the work in the beginning before production even starts, and then knowing the character so well that you feel like on the day of filming, it's already there. It's already in you. You don't have to necessarily think about why you're doing what you're doing because you already know the answer to that or why you're feeling like you're feeling. Um, because ideally it's just in you by that point, and you can kind of just play around with it, but already be in that world. So that's kind of the same process I followed for Annie.
I love it. Well, last question or two here. It's the 70s. It's like a different timeline. Now, all your other castmates, there was one thing that they found interesting and challenging to learn about. For you, was it the rotary phone or was it maybe something else?
I think the most I don't know if I would say challenging, but I guess the part of being in the 70s that kind of gave me pause was the fact that they didn't have cell phones. There's no tracking. There's no, oh, let me text my mom and tell her I'll be a few minutes past curfew. Whereas now, like growing up in modern times, we have all of that technology and we have all
Yeah.
the ways for easy communication. So I think that was one thing that kind of gave me pause, and I had to unlearn that a little bit as being an option for defense in a way. So yeah, that was really interesting.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on everything. And I appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. And thank you so much for everything. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.